Today is Friday, January 15th. Welcome to this edition of Nevada County Now. Today's episode, we're talking the Nevada County Relief Fund, cannabis cultivation, Laura's Law, and more. Hello and welcome to Nevada County Now. I'm your host, Cole Pettit. We've seen an increase of 218 COVID-19 cases since last week, bringing our total to 3,072 confirmed cases. 597 cases are currently active with 14 hospitalizations. Our regional ICU availability currently sits at 9.4%, but due to state projections, the stay-at-home order has been lifted, and we are now back in the purple or widespread tier. The death toll increased significantly this week, jumping from 50 to 71. For more information on all these changes, we're joined once again by Taylor Wolf, Public Information Officer for the County of Nevada. Thanks for coming on again, Taylor.
Thank you, Cole. I always appreciate coming on and being able to give an update to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So what have you got for us this week? There's been a lot of news, a lot of changes going on.
We have about 28,000 residents who are 65 plus here in Nevada County. Probably not a huge surprise to many of us, as we know, oftentimes our community is thought of as a retirement community, but this is 2 times more than the state average. So right now we are still in phase 1A, tier 2. We actually just got vaccines and started the process to be able to start vaccinating our in-home supportive services last night and getting that process going. So that's some exciting news. We've checked all the boxes on the tier 2 phase 1A. So we're working through the state's process that they've outlined for us of this phase and tier system of who gets vaccinated next. So working hard to vaccinate the 6,000 people that are in the phase 1A. And then after we are able to do that, we will be able to vaccinate everyone 65 plus. We also, particularly on Monday, added 20 new deaths to our dashboard this week. Total this week, we had 21 that we've added to our dashboard. So we're currently at 71 deaths due to COVID in Nevada County. And I wanted to clarify a little bit this sharp increase, because before that we were right around 50, and so 20 deaths is almost half of the deaths we had so far in one update. So Cal Ready is the state's data system, and they actually went through and were doing some cleaning up of their system. They do this a couple times a month. And so as they were doing this, they reallocated residents who were maybe transferred to out-of-county hospitals and had passed away there back to Nevada County. So they were on other counties' dashboards, but residents of Nevada County. So that resulted in the significant one-time increase of COVID-related deaths on our dashboard. And again, this continues to just be a sober reminder of the threat of COVID-19, and we're keeping these families, these people's loved ones in our thoughts. And also, next week on Tuesday, President-elect Biden has put a call out to cities and counties across the United States to be able to honor the people that we've lost from COVID-19 through ringing bells, if any facilities have bells, or light shows. So I know the county will be participating with that, probably with leaving our lights on the 19th. We're reaching out to our religious communities and others that may want to participate. It is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, which translates to 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. So we invite the community to join in that, as well as a way to honor those we've lost from COVID-19. So the state has allowed the greater Sacramento region that Nevada County belongs to exit the regional stay-at-home order based on 4-week ICU projections. So even though our ICU capacity is currently at that 9.4%, as of Tuesday, Our 4-week ICU capacity and projections looked really good at that 15% or higher. So we've been allowed to exit, which is some good news for our business community, but we still need to remind people to be safe, as hair salons, barbershops, and personal care services begin to reopen again, making sure we're healthy if we're taking part in those services and wearing our masks. Hotels and lodging, they moved to essential only under the stay home order. So those will be back open again with modifications under the purple tier. But knowing that traveling far is not recommended because we do not want to transmit COVID either out of our community or into our community. Movie theaters are allowed to open outdoors again with modifications, wineries opening outdoors again with modifications, and then of course restaurants opening outdoors again with modifications. So some good positive changes for our community and our business community, but not without saying that it's safe. We still need to keep those precautions in place as we do have widespread transmission in our community, and to protect our ICU capacity so we can stay out of the stay-at-home order and maybe even work our way towards those lower tiers like the red or the orange that we were in about 3 months ago now.
Thanks, Taylor. At Wednesday's Nevada City Council meeting, the council voted to amend Chapter 9.22 of the City Municipal Code relating to cannabis dispensaries and cannabis businesses and activity. The change that was passed would allow for indoor cultivation of cannabis plants in a space up to 22,000 square feet. Executive Director of the Nevada County Cannabis Alliance, Diana Gamzon, joined the conversation to explain how the city would see revenue from the industry.
So because Nevada City has done such an exceptional job of building a local supply chain, at each cannabis is taxed pretty much at every step of the supply chain. So it will be taxed when it gets distributed, which is at 2%. It will get taxed when it's sold, which is at there's a 4% tax there. It will get taxed if it were to be manufactured. So because we have such a closed loop supply chain in Nevada City, we're really going to experience a multiplier effect.
There are still a few concerns, however, specifically about where these new operations would take place. Sam Sugg, Seven Hills Middle School principal, explains.
Hi, Sam Sugg, principal here from Seven Hills Middle School. Thank you for letting me speak for a second. We have met just briefly with the group at the tech center. They have met with me. It has not gone through our board. It has not been a public discussion on any level, but they have shared their original process and then their secondary move, which is what I'm seeing now as a mature grow. I can throw a baseball and hit that section. The distance is my only concern. And if we can guarantee that students won't be impacted by this 22,000 foot grow operation, I think that would be my one statement. But I would love to see these. I think this group could come, the Jolly Bird group that is at the tech center could come to our school board and do a piece where they reach out, and that has not happened on a major level yet. It's just happened with me personally as the principal.
Mayor Erin Bennett voiced her opinion about how this industry could help the city.
I would like to see us, supporting the businesses that are here and moving forward, because our city, for our survival, it needs a good industry, and we've already got it. And at the same time, being very careful on how we do that.
Mayor Bennett also clarified that this vote does not automatically allow businesses to go ahead with production. The city would still need to approve specific businesses' proposals and verify they have met all the city requirements. This week, we welcome our new political correspondent, Mary Jane Hunegard. Mary Jane will be joining us a few times a month to provide insight into local politics and laws. This week, she's covering Laura's Law and the effect it's had on our local behavioral health services.
Hello, Nevada County. I'm Mary Jane Hunegard, a fellow citizen of Nevada County and Nevada County Now's new political correspondent. National politics are pretty hefty right now, and I think we can agree dividing us as a nation. In the meantime, we're all dealing with the pandemic, also in our own ways. The division and separation doesn't help us be in community with our neighbors. Not everyone feels safe participating in recent city and county efforts to get people interacting safely with each other and local businesses. Lack of community, lack of contact with the world can weigh heavily on a person, whether they are an extrovert or an introvert. That weight, that separation, is proven to impact mental health, and mental health challenges are widespread right now. So instead of talking about the protests and riots and controversial social media maneuvering that are currently dominating local political news, I'd like to bring it back home to our community, to a local mental health service that is notable this week in particular. This morning's program by the League of Women Voters of Western Nevada County featured local crisis services. Among the presenters was Nevada County Sheriff Shannon Moon, who described some new partnerships her office is doing with behavioral health. Nevada County Behavioral Health oversees mental health services for Nevada County. Today, I'm going to discuss a law that led to a behavioral health program that sets Nevada County apart. Earlier this week, January 10th, 2021, was the 20th anniversary of the death of 19-year-old Nevada Union valedictorian Laura Wilcox. Laura was one of 3 people killed by a mentally ill individual who had refused treatment. Ironically, the tragedy happened while she, Laura, was interning at behavioral health for college credit. The events of January 10th, 2001 led to a state law created by California Assembly Bill 1421, enacted on September 28, 2002, as Article 9 of the Welfare and Institutions Code. This article is recognized officially as Laura's Law. Laura's Law supports a court-ordered assisted outpatient treatment program for individuals with serious mental illness, plus a recent history of psychiatric hospitalizations, jailings, or acts, threats, or attempts of serious violent behavior towards self or others. It provides a mechanism by which such individuals can be provided the services and medical treatment, including medication, that empower recovery. In order to implement the services under Laura's Law, a county's Board of Supervisors, by resolution, must authorize an application and then find that neither voluntary mental health programs serving adults nor children's mental health programs would be reduced in order to implement the law locally. In 2004, 3 years after Laura's Law passed, another bill was passed that helped pave the way for counties to fund their own Laura's Law programs. Proposition 63, or the Mental Health Services Act, MHSA for short, imposed a 1% tax on individual income in excess of $1 million. The MHSA has been bringing in close to $2 billion statewide, funding an array of mental health programs in Nevada County, including the assisted outpatient treatment program used in Laura's Law. According to the county's behavioral health director, Phoebe Bell, there are 5 to 8 people in the assisted outpatient treatment program at any moment in time. Typically, 11 or 12 people come through it over the course of a year. Behavioral Health's new mobile crisis team, a partnership with the Sheriff's Office, will be able to respond more readily to situations where an assisted outpatient treatment program might be considered. Seeing people in their home or community environment will help the team have more insight into their functioning. Additionally, the mobile crisis team may be able to visit individuals who may not be engaging in their court-ordered treatment plan in order to help them follow through in a less volatile way. Appropriate to Laura Wilcox's native Nevada County status, Nevada County was the first in the state to implement the law fully. Several other counties have or are following suit with implementations or pilots. For more information about Laura's Law, including what criteria an individual must meet, who can request services on their behalf, and the evaluation process for admittance into the Assistant Outpatient Treatment Program, visit mynevadacounty.org, Behavioral Health Department page, and click on Laura's Law. Laura was a bright, ambitious woman taken from us far too early. The law enacted in her memory has saved lives and made lives better. And to view this morning's recorded live stream of the League of Women Voters of Western Nevada County's program featuring crisis services, visit www.lwvwnc.org. It was my privilege to bring you a brief political piece today. See you again in 2 weeks, same time, same place. I'll be discussing the politics of business compliance with state health guidelines, including those designed to slow the spread of COVID-19.
Thanks, Mary Jane. The Nevada County Relief Fund has announced another distribution of survival grants to small businesses. The Relief Fund raised $287,500 in the last 4 weeks, which will be awarded to 73 small businesses countywide. I spoke with Julie Baker, who is on the Community Advisory Council, about this round of funding and who helped to make it possible.
It's really the individuals. And, there's nobody coming to rescue Nevada County. We have to take care of ourselves. And I think that this is really a wonderful moment in our history when we look to each other and we say, we can do this, we can help each other. And those $100, $50 donations are as important as the $50,000 donations that we got in this as well.
Thanks, Julie. The winter break has come to an end for most of our students, and we wanted to find out in what way our local school districts are returning to instruction. Sonora Slater's here to tell us more.
Thanks, Cole. A new semester of school began recently, and as such, schools had to make a decision about how they are going to provide their students with education in the new year, regarding distance learning or in-person hybrid options. An advisory sent out on January 8th by Nevada County Superintendent of Schools Scott Lay announced that the Nevada County Superintendent of Schools office plans to begin COVID testing of any symptomatic staff members starting January 19th. As well as having increased their substitute teaching list to help with the shortage Nevada County has been facing. Chicago Park transitioned back to hybrid learning on January 4th. Clear Creek, Nevada City School District, and Union Hill School District are continuing with the in-person hybrid instructional models they've been in all year, with the option of distance learning. The Nevada Joint Union High School District transitioned to distance learning on November 20th. And currently plans to remain in distance learning through February 1st. Penn Valley Union Elementary School District transitioned to distance learning on December 11th and plans to remain in distance learning until January 19th. Pleasant Ridge Union School District transitioned into distance learning from January 4th to January 15th and plans to return to hybrid on January 19th. Twin Ridges Elementary School District switched to distance learning in November and plans to send out a survey to parents next week to inform the school about preferences for in-person or distance learning going forward. Grass Valley School District returned to hybrid last week after being in distance learning before winter break. Mount St. Mary's Academy is continuing with a modified in-person instructional model they've been in all year. Forest Lake Christian School is also continuing with a modified in-person instructional model. Back to you, Cole.
Thanks, Sonora. The South Yuba River Citizens League's 19th Annual Wild and Scenic Film Festival began yesterday, January 14th, and will run for 10 days ending on January 24th. This year the event is entirely virtual, but is still bringing a full selection of films and workshops. Festival goers can expect award-winning films about nature, community activism, adventure, conservation, water, energy and climate change, wildlife, environmental justice, agriculture, and more. To find out more or to get your tickets, visit the website wildandscenicfilmfestival.org. At Tuesday's Grass Valley City Council meeting, the council voted unanimously to extend the closure of Mill Street until April 1st. We'll leave you tonight with a look at some of the changes this area has gone through over the last few months. Remember, stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you next week.